Some love stories are so beautiful, protected is treasured, and they end with marriage. But sometimes, before two hearts can be together, destiny writes a different ending. This is the story of Abdullah and Huda. Abdullah was still a young boy when love quietly planted its first seed in his heart. Next door lived a family, closely connected to his own relatives, but even more than that, they were like one soul, in two homes, and among them was a little girl named Huda. She was 2 years younger than him. When Abdullah was 5 and Huda only 3, they played together almost every day. Their laughter echoed between the two homes, the whole neighborhood knew by heart. By the time Abdullah turned 10 and Huda was 7, this daily routine had become a gentle rhythm of life. Every evening as Abdullah returned home, his mother would smile warmly and ask, "Did you play with Huda today?" She'd rub his head with that motherly tenderness, like a silent love. And just next door, Huda's mother would ask the same question with the same loving tone, "Did you play with Abdullah?" The two women were more than neighbors. They were best friends, soul sisters, and mothers with a shared dream, that one day this innocent love between their children would grow and blossom into marriage. But time moves, and childhood fades. Huda turned 10. She began wearing the abaya. Her steps became quieter, her smile more reserved. She no longer joined Abdullah outside. A soft shyness had taken root, and the games turned into distant memories. Abdullah didn't know how to name what he was feeling, but he knew he missed her, and his heart never stopped remembering. Years passed. Huda now wore the niqab. Her brothers or father would escort her to school. She no longer walked freely outside. She had become a young woman, dignified, guarded, glowing with modesty. And Abdullah? He understood. This was Islam. This was protection. This was honor. And somehow, it made his love for her even deeper. He focused on his studies, poured himself into college, and whispered the same silent dua every night. Ya Allah, let her be my wife. His sisters would talk to Huda, and through their words he sensed something beautiful. She felt the same. Their hearts still remembered what their eyes could no longer see. Years passed and the day finally came. Abdullah had completed his studies and secured a job. With certainty in his heart, he approached his mother. "Mom, I'm ready to get married." She smiled with warmth, and without hesitation said, "You'll never marry anyone except Huda." Abdullah's heart swelled. "Of course, Mom." The families prepared themselves. Abdullah and his parents visited Huda's home and officially proposed. Everyone already believed this would happen. It had always been expected. But Huda's family asked for a few days to discuss with Huda and her brothers. A few days later, Abdullah told his father, "Let's go hear their answer." They went. But nothing could have prepared them for what came. Next, Huda's father, with a heavy look in his eyes, said softly, "I'm so sorry, it's not written for Huda and Abdullah to be together." Abdullah's father asked gently, "But why?" He replied with finality, "I can't say much." The family did not agree. "We wish Abdullah all the best, that was it. No reason, no explanation, just..." Now Abdullah left in silence, his heart shattered. He kept wondering what went wrong, but no answer ever came. Months later, the news reached him. Huda was getting married. It hurt deeply, but he prayed for her happiness. They had never spoken or met since they were kids. In the few family gatherings they shared, Abdullah would spot Huda's mother from afar, surrounded by women. And among them was Huda. But he never looked too long. 2 years passed. Abdullah finally agreed to marry someone else. His wife was kind, and in time they had a child, but the shadow of Huda still lingered between them. His wife knew about her, and it made her restless. Some mornings she would wake up angry, accusing him of still loving Huda. Abdullah tried to stay patient, but one day he had enough. "Please," he said, "stop mentioning Huda, it's in the past." By then, they had 2 children. His wife grew furious and left, returning to her parents' home. Abdullah sent people to speak to her father, hoping to fix things, but she refused to come back. Then one day, while visiting his parents, he heard something unexpected. Huda had gotten divorced. But Abdullah didn't think much of it. After all, her family had once shut that door. He let it pass and moved on. sometime. Later, Abdullah was at the hospital with his son, who had an appointment. There he met Huda's brother, Salim. They exchanged greetings and began to talk. Salim looked visibly upset. Abdullah asked gently, "Who's sick?" "My son," Salim said. "His kidney is failing. He needs a transplant, and I haven't found a single match." Without hesitation, Abdullah said, "Tell the doctors to test me. If I'm a match, I'll give him mine." Salim was shocked but grateful. The tests came back. Abdullah was a perfect match, and without fanfare, he went through the surgery and gave the child his kidney. Days later, Abdullah went to Salim's house to check on the boy. To his surprise, he was warmly welcomed. Then Huda's father looked him in the eye and said something no one expected. "Abdullah, thank you for saving my grandson. Huda is yours, whenever you're ready to marry her." Abdullah froze. Later, he spoke with his mother and father. His father asked him plainly, "Do you still love Huda?" Abdullah lowered his gaze. "Yes, then go for it," his father said. "Your wife doesn't want to come back. How long will you wait alone?" Abdullah proposed again, and this time the family agreed. But there was one condition. They called. "Huda?" She stood behind the door and softly said, "I will marry Abdullah, but only if he brings back his wife." Everyone was stunned. Abdullah said, "She's the one who left. I didn't ask her to go." Huda replied gently, "Go and bring her back. As soon as she returns to you, I'll be ready to become the second wife." Abdullah had no choice but to go to his wife's parents and ask for her return. Her father asked him, "What is the problem between you two?" Abdullah replied, "I have never once annoyed her, beaten her, or even raised my voice at her. I have no problem with her at all." She was called, and when questioned, she had nothing to say. Her father then told her, "Go back with your husband." At that moment, Abdullah added honestly, "Just to let you know, I'm going to marry Huda. She is divorced and her family has already accepted me." Hearing this, his wife immediately said, "No, then I will not come back." But her father advised her, "Look, your husband is a good man. You have no problem with him except that he is marrying Huda. He is the father of your children. If he wanted, he wouldn't have even come back to you. Think wisely." Then Abdullah told her, "I have finished building our new house and here is the key. Go and furnish it as you like. You will be downstairs, and Huda will be upstairs. You can arrange the entire house however you wish, and Huda will furnish her part upstairs." Finally, she accepted. The next day, Abdullah and his father went to Huda's parents and informed them that all was settled. The marriage contract was signed, and Abdullah and Huda were officially engaged and planned the big day will be in few months' time. During this time, Huda was given the key to the upstairs floor. She and Abdullah began speaking over the phone. One day she told him something that shocked him. "The first time you proposed, it was my brother who refused you and forced me to marry another man. Yet even he admitted, 'Abdullah is a very good person, but I simply don't want him to marry my sister.' Then she added, 'But see how Allah plans everything. By Allah's will you ended up being the one who saved his son's life.'" Those were the happiest days for Abdullah and Huda. Abdullah would sometimes park his car at a distance just to catch a glimpse of Huda as she and her sisters went to furnish the new home. They would go shopping, buying things for their house, and Abdullah remained patient, waiting until the wedding before being close to her. But then came the tragedy. One day Huda and her sister were driving from her new house to the market to buy more furniture. Suddenly another car sped recklessly and struck their vehicle right on the side where Huda was sitting. Huda passed away on the spot. It was the darkest day for Abdullah and both families. The day Huda died, something inside Abdullah died too. They say time heals, but time only teaches you how to live with the pain. For 6 years now, her room has remained untouched. Her perfume still lingers in the air. Her makeup, her clothes, even the single piece of fabric she last touched, still lying on the bed as if she might return at any moment. But she won't, because Allah had written her story differently. Abdullah doesn't visit the room with sorrow, he visits it with love, the kind of love that never touched, never rushed, never took, the kind of love that was patient, pure, and surrendered to the will of Allah. He sometimes stands at the door and smiles softly, remembering the girl who grew up next door, the girl whose name his mother used to ask about every evening, the girl who returned to him, only when both of their hearts were ready, but just for a short time, and perhaps Allah only gave her back to him for a moment to remind him that the purest love is the one that returns to him. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Indeed, to Allah we belong and to Him we shall return. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 156. And this was the story of Abdullah and Huda, a reminder that love is not always measured by how long it lasts, but by how pure it remains. May Allah grant us hearts that love sincerely, minds that accept His wisdom, and patience when Allah put an end we never expected. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe for more stories of healing and reflection.